Good evening, everyone. The highlights of the news this Thursday. Traffic accidents.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Snodacast. I am your host, Black Chef 56, and I am, of course, joined by the immortal, the undying HungryHufflepuff, who is also very tired, if you cannot tell.
It's been overtime's kicking my ass.
Well, luckily for me, overtime wasn't that bad. So, and of course, we're also joined by the wonderful, the always brightening up an episode, DJ Lionheart, aka Leon.
Hey guys, if only I had some overtime.
I know, right? Ay, wouldn't we all kill for a little bit of overtime?
Well, I
just that. Yeah, I wish I had overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd kill for work, but you know, I
know you definitely want to kill somebody.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean that is a career path if you think about it.
Technically, yeah. Because I mean, shit, you're killing them. Might as well rob them at the same time.
Right.
Oh, I was thinking Hitman.
Oh well, there's that too. All right. So, awkward opening out of the way, we're going to go ahead and go into what we normally can't do in an episode of the podcast without talking about, weekly updates. This is the segment where we basically get to kind of recollect everybody's week and just kind of loosen those lips a little bit. All right. So, Allie, I'm going to ask you the age-old question. How was your week?
Not bad. My D&D character is now in a relationship, a healthy relationship for
That's
her,
good.
actually.
That's good.
I'm jealous.
Of course. Don't be jealous of your own character. A different level of insanity that we don't need you on.
I'll be fine.
Famous last words.
Yeah, it works. No. The famous last words are, I got this.
That's also fair. That in D&D is the famous last words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Work's going all right. Just that mandatory extra time is kicking my ass. I would take the extra day. Just don't the extra hour added to each shift. My soul is ready to just burst, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah. Well, it's also Amazon. They're pretty good at like diminishing souls.
Yeah.
I actually had an operating manager tell me that bathroom breaks were for break time. And I'm sitting here like, oh, that's the old mindset.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's like,
All
bitch,
right.
if I gotta go, I gotta fucking go.
What, you want me to piss
Yeah.
in somebody's Amazon box? I'll happily shit in it. Pissing is a little too much.
Okay, in fairness, my response would have been, I'm sorry, I'm working with sensitive equipment. I can't pee on this.
It's a good one. That's a good one. I'll give you that one. All right. Well, Leon, how's your week, buddy?
It's been stressful, but I'm trying to keep positive about it. Been playing a little bit of the new Assassin's Creed game, so that's keeping my mind preoccupied of stressful shit.
Yeah.
I do have a small gig coming up on the 28th.
That's good.
It's a volunteer thing, but for me, that'll help get my business promoted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There you go.
So fully working on that, and then my friend's letting me set up my equipment at her place on Halloween night. So
That's gonna be fun.
yeah, we did it last year, literally as a last second thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like no setup time, no song list setup time, shit like that. I was literally doing all that on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we talked about it a few weeks in advance, I'll have time to like properly set up and have a good list going.
It's good. Yeah, as of this episode's release, I will have two things going on. I will have I will have a convention that I will be going to. For those of you that are going to be at Dallas Fan Fest, well, by the time this episode's up, you're already there. You would have already seen me if you are a watcher. Like we have those. And of course, They
Somewhere.
exist somewhere. They just haven't found us yet. And of course, also this week we do have Spider-Man 2 coming out for PS5, and I actually have that pre-ordered. I have got to hopefully I can get it paid for Thursday night and pick it up the same day. But I have a feeling that most likely they're going to tell me, yeah, you're going to have to wait till Friday. And I'm going to be like, bitch, I ain't got that kind of fucking time. I'm going to be in Dallas, and then you expect me to drive all the way back down here? Come on. So
Nah.
it depends on what time I get off work on Friday. That's going to be the biggest thing. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get off at like 3 o'clock, I can just rush it down there, pay for it, get it done and over with, and then rush back over to where I need to go. But,
Right.
yeah, aside from that, not much else. And then I guess for my weekly updates, week's been going okay. I got to celebrate my nephew's birthday this last Sunday, so that was fun. Got to go to Dave & Buster's for said birthday, which was pretty fun, honestly.
Ooh.
Aside from that, not really much else. Finally got my work truck. That's good. And ironically, they put me back in the exact same truck that I got when I started, which is hilarious. I love that. So like immediately recognized my phone. I'm like, I know this truck, and this truck knows me. I feel uncomfortable, but but no. Aside from that, not really much else. I did finally get that wee bit of overtime. I got about 8 hours, which made up for an hour that I lost earlier last week. So there's that. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was, at least there was a couple of spots that, or water spouts basically that we could use. The problem is I had to go back Monday in order to finish up the 3 units that I could not clean off Saturday because we did not have enough hose. So, yeah. Pimps and gardeners would understand what I'm talking about here. Not enough hose is a problem. But aside from that, if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and go into now showing.
Oh, funny you mention your nephew's birthday. My niece fucking loves that controller I got her.
Oh, that's
She
awesome.
fucking loves the shit out of that thing.
Yeah. All right.
So for people that don't know, I bought my niece a little VTech DJ controller off Amazon. And
but yet he
for
can't buy
being
me
a DJ
anything. I'm so sad.
I'm fine. I don't need shit.
That's it,
my niece
Allie.
is
I'm
a
mailing
little-
shit to your house.
Literal or figurative?
I deal with shit all day at work. Why would
Literal.
I need more?
Literal, because it comes from a place of love. My ass.
I've had the job that deals with literal shit all day. Why would I need more?
She's been there and done that. She don't want to do it again.
Yes, Leon, I'm
Big
sorry.
old note on the top of it saying return to sender.
As you two both know, I work DJ part-time, so getting my niece a little DJ controller, which actually does almost the same shit as a actual DJ controller.
Which makes me think you could have saved money on setup. But anyways.
But it's very, very limited to what it can do.
That's fair.
But it's scary to think that the little VTech toy does just as good a job as like a really cheap DJ controller, minus some things. And like, what I paid for it, I could have spent like another $15 more and bought myself a professional controller.
Not bad.
Yeah,
that is not bad actually.
It's crazy the way things are going with that type of technology.
Oh yeah, dude, DJ equipment is always upgrading. It's up there with PCs and consoles. I mean, it's PCs, consoles, TVs, they're always upgrading. So yeah. But anyways, this week for now showing, we actually have, if I can pull it up here, We have.
I don't
Remember that
remember the
message.
name.
Yes, I saw it. Okay. So this one's I'm actually excited for. We have the new Martin Scorsese film called Killers of the Flower Moon, which is also, I believe it's a limited release in theaters for like a limited time, not limited amount of theaters, and then I believe it goes directly to Apple TV after that, or it might be a simultaneous thing. I have no idea.
Fuck Apple TV.
They got a couple of good things. Keyword couple, not much.
My complaint is more that it exists.
Oh yeah, no, that is a valid complaint. I will give you that. But no, I mean another Scorsese film. I mean the last one we got was what? Freaking wasn't Wolf of Wall Street. I know he's done another film since then.
I no idea.
Yeah. Hold on.
I've heard that like I've seen some stuff on TikTok about it. Like a lot of people were anticipating this movie for quite a while.
Oh, okay. So the last movie we got from him was The Irishman, which was pretty damn good, actually. If you haven't seen it and you got about 3 or 4 hours to kill, I would recommend it. Especially if you're a big Scorsese fan or a gangster movie fan, it's pretty damn good. And I like the fact that this time, instead of choosing between Leo and Robert De Niro, he's just like, fuck it, I'm doing both. And so there is that. This story looks interesting. I love the setting. The trailer is phenomenal. And I mean, I just there's something about a good Scorsese film. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of them that are like, like I would argue. What is it? It's not Raging. Raging Bull is okay. Taxi Driver is a different kind of movie, and I don't hate it for that, but I also don't absolutely love it for that as well. It's a very slow burn of a movie, which granted, it's Scorsese in a nutshell, but like I would still argue, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, I would still argue he has way better films. I still think The Departed is phenomenal. Obviously Wolf of Wall Street is still one of my favorite movies from him, but no, I'm super pumped to see this movie. It looks really, really good. What are y'all's opinion?
Yeah, I think the way you're going with that is, I think it's like that for every director. Like there's some hit and misses
100%
for everybody.
Yeah. Shit, even Kubrick had some fucking misses. Like I would argue Eyes Wide Shut is not his best work, which is ironic because it's his last film. Oops.
Way to go out with a bang. You do not do well.
Yeah. No, I mean it did well. It was received well. It just just not my thing. You know?
Not his grit. Not like
I would still say
last hurrah.
When it comes to Kubrick, I would still say his masterpiece is The Shining. I just from a technical and a storytelling standpoint, that is his masterpiece.
It is one of the ones he's more known for.
Oh yeah, no. Out of my personal favorites, I'd have to go with Doctor Strangelove. That one's one of my personal favorites from him. That one's really, really good. The Shining comes after that, and then there's a couple other movies that he's done that I haven't entirely seen, but yeah.
Right.
Like I've seen Clockwork Orange. It's good. He was actually supposed to do AI before he died.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that all that just Spielberg taking over and trying to make it a Kubrick film while Kubrick was trying to make it a Spielberg film.
Yeah. Well, Spielberg and Kubrick were the biggest. They were the best of friends for the longest time. But what's funny about it is they envied each other.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Kubrick always wanted to make that like big budget, family friendly film, and freaking Spielberg always wanted to make that dark, gritty, art house flick, and it's kind of funny. So the fact that they were constantly playing back and forth with it,
they had a decent friendly rivalry.
Yeah,
basically.
Almost. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. Even though they weren't never really going against each other. But so what originally came out when Kubrick wrote it, AI, because he said it was going to be his version of Pinocchio, which to be fair it is.
Mm-hmm.
when it was first going around, he pitched the idea to Spielberg, and he said, "Hey, I'll produce it. You direct this." And then and then Spielberg basically said, "No, you're directing it, and I'll produce it." And it was just them doing that back and forth, back and forth. Then Kubrick made Eyes Wide Shut during that time, and Spielberg was Spielberg. And then finally, Kubrick said, "All right, my next film is AI." And then he died. Just to make things more complicated. He died. And so then we got the semi-awkward movie AI. What can I say?
Bringing it all back.
Yeah, and
it's bringing it all back to Scorsese.
Yeah, yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, no, this film. I'm sure you guys have seen the trailer. If you've seen a movie lately, they've had the trailer in front of every freaking movie I've seen.
It's popped up a couple times on YouTube.
Hell yeah, exactly. And I'm super pumped about this movie. I believe Brendan Fraser is in it as well. He has a small bit in it. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he does. And then, yeah, this looks like a typical Scorsese fest, and I love it. I'm super pumped about it. I'm curious to see what all goes down, because also the character who's playing Leo's wife, this is her first time acting, and apparently when at the film festivals that they went to, they said that she absolutely steals the show. She is perfectly in there with DiCaprio and De Niro, and she fucking acts her heart out, which is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
for a first time, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it's
usually
insane.
when you're take The Mask, for instance, with Cameron Diaz. That was her first film.
Exactly. Yeah,
she was you
great.
could tell she was nervous.
Oh, 100%. There's a few scenes where you could see it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But she still did an amazing job.
Oh no, she still did a great job. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many different things. I'm trying to remember who else was it. There was some little girl that she had her first ever role recently, and she's been stealing roles since. Was it? It's. I forget her name. But anyways, so this I'm excited about this movie. You guys?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go see this in theaters. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because next week is freaking Five Nights at Freddy's. So I'm gonna have to sneak this shit in on a Tuesday or something. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah. Which I can't sneak it in on a Tuesday. I'll have to sneak it in on a Monday or something. I don't know.
You'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, exactly. I mean, push comes to shove, girlfriend's got Apple TV. I can just watch it on there. Hey, everyone. Our buddy Ty would like to talk about some news with y'all in a segment we'd like to call Ty's Gaming Corner. Ty?
Welcome, everyone. My name is Ty, and welcome back to another segment of TGC, brought to you by Snodacast and the people at Snodacast. Welcome. Today's subject that I would like to talk about today would be GTA 6's rumored age requirements, or age restriction, basically. But this is going to be a doozy. So this is coming from the Gaming Bible, which is a page on Facebook that I do follow for most of the things that I do see around the gaming atmosphere, because they're, from what I see, unbiased in their opinions. But they are saying that there has been an age requirement that has been posted by the Australian Age Rating Board. So it's really interesting, because they did say in the article that Australia has very, very strict rules when it comes to games with strong sexual content and strong drug use. They usually ban those types of games. So maybe Rockstar had a patch or something put in place for the game that they promised Australia's government, saying, hey, we're going to take out a lot of the stuff that other countries are going to have, so that people in Australia can play the game. But I don't really know much about it. And they're also quoting that on October the 26th, I believe, if I am reading this correctly. Somewhere around October. No, yeah, I was correct. On October 26th, there was a rumored showcase by Rockstar that was supposed to be happening about GTA 6, but that could also be just a rumored thing, especially because I have not seen any sources confirm nor deny it. So it could be just floating around. But with Australia having those age requirements come out, it's really, really kind of odd with the time frame. But here's the best part: the rating board, the rating board put the age rating, if I can find it, for 15 plus. You heard me, 15 plus, which is crazy for Rockstar's track record. Okay, but from what I can tell, this is going to be very big news for a lot of people, especially in Australia, and especially around the country or around anywhere in the world that would love to play GTA 6. We just have to wait and see what Rockstar is going to come out with, if they're going to make any statements, if they make any publishings on their official official blog and on their website. Regardless of what happens, we need to wait and see what else is being released. So I do have a few questions for the audience. Again, what do you think of the age rating in Australia? And do you think this GTA is going to be a bit different? And do you think this GTA is going to exceed the previous title, which is GTA 5? With that being said, folks, I will toss it back to the people over at Snodacast, and thank you for having me today on this new segment of TGC, and I will see you again in the next episode. See ya.
All right. Well, going into the main topics for tonight, our first topic is Kick-Ass is apparently going to be getting a reboot. Don't expect any of these, any of the original characters coming back, which is interesting because apparently Vaughn has stated that he would like to make a Kick-Ass 3 if this does well, which doesn't make sense if you're rebooting it.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense if you're rebooting it. So it's just one of those things. Is like, don't get me wrong, I would love another Kick-Ass movie. The great thing about the first Kick-Ass was like, yeah, it's ultimately making fun of superheroes and that kind of aspect of it. But the surprising gore and some of the like really, which I don't think you can get really away with some of the dirty humor that they got away with back then. Way too many people are gonna be, especially half of Hit Girl's dialogue. Oh my god.
Well, if I remember correctly, isn't Kick-Ass based off a comic series?
It is.
So
yes.
yeah.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, I'm glad Matthew Vaughn is coming back to this because he did make the first one really, really good, and he was sorely missed for the second one. Don't get me wrong, I have a soft spot for the second one.
The second one was good.
It was okay. It wasn't as good, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And
so him making a reboot and then wanting to do a Kick-Ass 3, that just doesn't make any sense. It
doesn't mesh, you know.
Yeah.
It's
I'm confused.
Yeah. If the reboot does well, then you're gonna have to continue the reboot.
Yeah, it's the here's that thing you really like, just different.
Yeah, I guess.
We might actually continue the thing you like as well.
Well, and it's a reboot, so I don't know if it's going to be following it. Maybe another person takes up the Kick-Ass mantle. I don't know if it's going to be following the first movie. We really don't know much of anything about it.
Yeah, the term reboot is a bit vague at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, am I excited about a possible another Kick-Ass movie? Absolutely. You know, I'd love to see somebody explore this again. You know, the biggest problem with the second one was it went too big too quickly compared to the first one. The first one knew to keep it
the way
steady.
Kick-Ass 2 kind of went, it looked like it should have been like a two-parter.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as like a two-parter, but I would go as far to say it should have been the third movie.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Like, you could have done another movie in between. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad we got Kick-Ass 2 the way we did. I had both those movies. But it's just one of those things is like, I don't know. I feel like it should have been the third movie. And then, of course, they obviously tease a third movie. But good luck getting Aaron Taylor Johnson back. Definitely good luck getting Curly Gates Moretz back. The only person I think you could really get back is Christopher Mintz-Please as motherfucker.
Maybe.
That's really about it. You know, yeah, I think he's one of the few actors that you get. Jim, and of course, the other problem with Kick-Ass 2 was Jim Carrey kind of denounced the movie because a school shooting happened before the movie came out, and he's like, "Don't go see this movie; it's too violent." And it's like, dude, you couldn't have fucking waited. Like, come on, man! You don't disown your movie. Just, I don't know. And it'd be,
I can kind of see the reasoning though.
I can too, but like the funny thing is he even said like his character does a lot of violence. I'm like, yeah, he beats the shit out of people, and yes, he does have a gun because apparently his big thing was an anti-gun status. But I'm like, your character in the movie has a gun. Yes, it is not loaded. It is just a intimidation piece. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, but your character arguably does advocate for less violence, for, you know, violence when it's necessary, basically. And yeah, I don't know. That's a whole other spiel.
We've seen those messages can be twisted by the viewers.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it can't.
Yeah.
I am not at all saying that it cannot, but yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess.
It'll be interesting where he goes with this version of Kick-Ass.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, yeah.
If it's what he's saying, he wants to do a complete reboot. But if it's good, why just make another Kick-Ass 2? Just make it better instead of going back to the original and doing Kick-Ass 3. It's confusing.
Okay. On that note, coming from the standpoint of a DM who relishes story over combat, if I feel like, yeah, my story can be better, but just not as it is, I'm perfectly okay with going back and redoing it.
Yeah.
And that might be the direction this is.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. But still, him saying that if it does good, I will make Kick-Ass 3. That's where it's throwing me off.
Yeah,
and I think that's throwing a lot of fans off.
A little bit. I don't know. It is what it is.
We'll see what happens.
We'll just have to wait and see.
That we will, won't we? So, speaking of superheroes, our next topic is the Daredevil Born Again series. Apparently, while under halt because of the actors' strike, Kevin Feige got to read the script and he got to see what episodes they had shot. He has now called for a complete rewrite overhaul. He has fired the entire writing staff and we're starting from scratch. So Kevin Feige might have actually saved this damn show. And that's fucking awesome. I love that because yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, like apparently there was rumors going around that like Daredevil didn't even put on his iconic costume till episode 4 out of like 13.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this would have been just a mid-Marvel show. Especially if you got a group of writers that don't know how to write legal shows either.
Yeah. 2 people right now like that work under Disney, Dave Filoni and Kevin Feige. Those 2 you don't want to fuck with their shit. Like, no. Dave Filoni, like his Ahsoka series is phenomenal. It's actually really well written. I don't care much for the actor that they got for Ezra, but he actually makes it look like this is what happened when Ezra grew up.
Oh, funny really enough, cool. I think he's actually going to be at Dallas Fan Fest.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is pretty
cool. I do like where he's going with it, and it's bringing a lot of interesting lore base of what's going on, and I'm for it. And same thing with Kevin Feige, with him doing what he did with Daredevil. I like Daredevil, like great character. So for him to do that,
Mm-hmm.
Well-
goes to show how much he cares about it.
Yeah. So when it comes down to it, Disney, realistically, when it comes to their Marvel properties, since Phase 4, there have been 2 semi-successes on the big screen. You have Multiverse of Madness was a semi-success, and then you have No Way Home, but that's more or less Sony than it is. Or no, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking about out of their stuff, it would have been Guardians and I believe Multiverse of Madness was their 2 biggest successes. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, No Way Home was considered like a freaking hit out, is hit in the ballpark or whatever the hell the word is, out of the ballpark basically. But that's more or less a
Especially with
Sony
the,
movie.
secret of Toby and Andrew coming back.
Yeah, we all fucking knew. I think what everybody was surprised though was how much they were in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. But no, when it comes down to it, it's just one of those things. It's like that's more or less a Sony movie than it is a Marvel movie. Marvel just kind of gave them extra money and let them use certain characters from their universe. So when it comes to the TV side of things, I would argue they're one really solid show, minus a few or not even really a few nitpicks. There's some nitpicks, yes, but like obviously there's like one major flaw. That's kind of the biggest thing. But aside from that, it's actually done really, really well. It's really entertaining. You have WandaVision was okay. You had Falcon and Winter Soldier, which became preachy as all hell at the end.
It was bound to.
It was bound to. Yes. Did it need to? No. And then of course you had what was another one?
Are you just talking about the newer shows, or are you
out
also
of
gonna...
just all their Marvel Disney Plus shows? Like, What If technically is a success. Hawkeye, I did not hate Hawkeye, but Hawkeye did have its problems too.
Well, I was just wondering because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was also done really well, and also
that
the
was
Agent
on
Carter series.
So
that wasn't originally a Disney.
Those were not. They were Marvel Television. They were not. That was completely different field. So
we're talking the ones that Disney themselves have done.
Yeah, Disney Marvel Studios have done, not in association with Marvel, which is what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter was. Though granted,
I wasn't sure about those.
Yeah, no, a lot of people weren't. I think they said certain parts of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon, and I believe Agent Carter is, but we don't know. Nobody ever really fully gave us an explanation on that one.
Someone in that studio needs to sit down and be like, okay, here's what we consider canon out of what we've
Since
added.
they've opened up the can of worms that is the multiverse, good fucking luck. Because now everything's canon. So
yeah, when it comes to S.H.I.E.L.D., I'd say like the first 3.5 seasons would be canon because it
followed the movies.
Yeah, it followed the movies really, really well. Yeah. After that, once they start going time travel, interdimensional travel, then they brought in the multiverse at like in the last season, which I honestly haven't even watched yet.
Couldn't tell you. My mom watched that show and she said it was pretty good, but I mean, as a TV show goes, I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good story, but
yeah, exactly. But I would still argue like peak Marvel TV, not including not Marvel Studios presents. I'm talking just in association with Marvel. I would still argue peak Marvel TV. You cannot beat Daredevil season 1, Jessica Jones season 1, and Daredevil season 3. Everything else can be debated, but those 3 seasons of those 2 shows are some of the best Marvel TV we've gotten.
Yeah,
like season 2 of Daredevil was okay, but it has some hiccups compared to season 3.
I would argue Loki season 1 was getting close to that level.
I would argue Loki had so much potential to get to that point, except for the fact that the way Sylvie is written in, it is very obvious who they really want the show to be about. And that's where it falters for me. And that's where a lot of new Disney stuff falters for me. They use the like iconic name of a certain character so they can get butts and seats or get eyes on viewership. And then they're like, oh yeah, no, we really want to make it about this show. For Obi-Wan Kenobi, it was Reva. For Ahsoka, it's essentially Sabine Wren. For
It's the same problem that the DC movies had with Superman versus Batman.
Batman v Superman.
It wasn't Batman v Superman. It was
Tease the Justice League, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a little bit of Batman v Superman. Yeah, no, and that's a different problem. DC had a huge problem of setup first, worry about everything else later.
Mhm.
And that was the ultimate problem of Batman v Superman. But when it comes to Marvel, it's a different story. Actually, honestly, when it comes to Disney shows in general, they're using the IP that is like, oh yeah, we can get asses and seats for Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi, but we really want to make this Reva show. And it's like, okay, so take all that stuff, put it into the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Wasn't it supposed to be a movie? We're making it a show now. Go ahead. Put your character in there. We'll make it about them, really. Disney.
Honestly, I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi would have made a better movie.
100% it would have made a better movie.
But don't get me wrong, I like all the Marvel shows that I've watched with Star Wars and the Marvel. I like, but they could have been better.
Mandalorian season 1 is pretty good. Season 2
Yeah.
is okay, and I think you should have ended at season 2. Sorry. You legitimately could have ended with season 2 and it would have been fine.
Yeah,
Book of Boba
can
Fett
agree
became
with that.
Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah,
But-
and that was really supposed to be a show about what's her name, the assassin lady.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
You're seeing the pattern here, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, even Mandalorian eventually became the Bo-Katan show.
Yeah, which is
Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
ruin these shows for you, Leon. I'm just
no.
pointing it out.
I get it. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
Loki was like, okay, cool. It's actually about Loki and the TVA. And then as soon as Sylvie gets introduced, it becomes the Sylvie show.
Yeah,
I don't know about season 2 just yet.
I've
Maybe they
watched
fix it.
the first couple episodes. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know if they fixed it or not. Maybe they did. I don't know. But
I don't know. There's not much you can really go off of with just 2 episodes.
that's true.
Really.
Yeah.
So now, to make a long tangent short, the reason why I bring this up is Marvel, really Disney as a whole, desperately needs another win. The only reason why I think Lucasfilm went on as long as it has now is because Mandalorian was a hit, and because Rogue One was a hit, and also because, to a lesser extent, Force Awakens was a hit. So, you have all those hits, and that's the reason what's been kind of pushing the corpse of Lucasfilm on from there. But with Marvel, you had 10 years, which is great. You had like 20 plus films over 10 years, 3 phases. You had hit, even the bombs didn't bomb as bad as everything else. So it comes down to, and now you're seeing a lot of bombs. Like, you have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which was really supposed to come out in Phase 3, but didn't, because you fired James Gunn and then rehired him. And then at that point, he's already going to DC, so we went from there. So realistically, that was essentially a Phase 3 film that became a Phase 4 film. You have No Way Home, essentially a Sony movie.
Pretty much.
You just get to kind of basically get some money out of it. So it comes down to, you've had so many bombs or so many disappointments. You desperately need something on the TV side of things. And a lot of people like Loki. A lot of people, they're like, okay, that's actually a decent show. Whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier was preachy. WandaVision was good until it became a generic Marvel plot. And then Secret Invasion was ass.
I haven't even watched Secret Invasion yet.
I
don't
tried watching the first episode.
The first episode's not god awful, but it's not good. Yeah. I got maybe 2 or 3 episodes in and I gave up on it.
I still really like Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was
Hawkeye I
okay.
liked.
Hawkeye
I
definitely
thought
had its
Hawkeye was
issues. Hawkeye, in my opinion, definitely had some issues, but when it came down to it, it was still enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still had fun with Hawkeye. But
She-Hulk was that slapstick but that was just because of how she was. Anyway, actually, it could have been a whole lot worse.
I have the feeling.
I
Kirsten
agree.
has a-
She-Hulk. It could have been a whole lot worse because majority of the comics, she's pretty much naked the whole time.
what were you saying, Allie?
Oh no, you took care of that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
So, I don't hate She-Hulk. She-Hulk is just fine.
This is where I was.
This is what you were
Correcting.
hinting towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it is one of the most mid Marvel TV shows I have seen. I agree with Leon. It could have been a shitload worse. Not for that reason, but it could have been a shitload worse. However, my main problem with that show is the pacing and the writing, which is the same problem I have with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but like it's more obvious in that one. I actually don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi. I watched the whole thing because I'm like, where the fuck is this going? She-Hulk was the same thing. I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? Because like, there's a couple of interesting points. The finale was okay. I'm surprised they're getting a season 2 with how much they like literally bullied the shit out of Kevin Feige by making him an emotionless, soulless AI robot with a hat that says Kevin on it.
I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the fuck they managed to get that season 2, but they managed to get it. I don't know how they did.
Yeah,
but
just because I've read a lot of stuff about She-Hulk, like how she is in the comics.
Yeah.
If we would have went that route, it wouldn't have lasted long at all.
That's fair.
Because of how she's written in the comics.
Yeah. That is fair. But yeah. So again, to try to make a long tangent short, Marvel desperately needs a win. And the fact that Kevin Feige's like, all right, we're not going to make Daredevil, a show that we literally fought tooth and nail to get back. We're not going to make it just okay. We're going to make it good. And so he finally sat down, he read the script, and he's like, no, we're rewriting this whole thing. What about all this? Doesn't matter. We're redoing the whole thing. Do I look forward to Echo because Daredevil is going to show up in it? No, I'm honestly not even going to watch that. But as soon as Daredevil Born Again comes out, you bet your ass I am watching that shit.
Yeah, Kevin Feige has worked his ass up since day one of Marvel Studios. And
I definitely see him as one of those people that no. This isn't good enough. Our fans deserve better.
Exactly. And and I think that it's good that he's kind of finally doing his overstep now. Would there have been a couple other shows that I wish he would have done that for too? Oh, absolutely. But it's neither here nor there. Alrighty then. So on to a couple of trailers. So we have the new Dragon Ball series coming out. Dragon Ball Daima.
I don't even know.
Daima. Yeah, Daima. Dragon Ball Daima, and of course we also Daima. Look forward to it. It's Dragon Ball. I still need to catch up on it. And then you also have a trailer for the new Adam Sandler movie, which is an animated movie. It's a kids movie called Leo, about a talking lizard voiced by Adam Sandler.
It looks hilarious.
It
really does.
It looks cute. I'll give it that. It looks fine.
I don't know who is playing his like tortoise friend.
That's Bill Burr.
That's Bill Burr.
That's Bill Burr.
Okay.
As soon as I heard his voice, as soon as I heard, Christ, fifth graders again. I'm like, that's Bill Burr. Yeah. As soon as I heard it, as soon as I just heard, oh Christ, I was like, oh, that's Bill Burr. Cool.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know what kind of story it's trying to tell. It's like, other than like Adam Sandler's character is like
an old lizard,
old 74-year-old lizard that's apparently giving kids like
life advice
from a lizard. I don't know, but it's an Adam Sandler movie. It's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. 'Cause it's gonna
I'm cautiously looking forward to it. I didn't hate Hubie Halloween. Wasn't my favorite though.
I haven't even watched that one yet.
It's okay. It's the best thing I can say about it. Is it's just okay. There's a couple moments that actually genuinely got me to laugh. Also, apparently, they connected to Happy Gilmore and a whole bunch of other characters throughout the entirety of the quote-unquote Sandler-verse, which is kind of funny.
Weird, but okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm literally going to tell you,
Why is
it
everybody
opens
trying
with...
for an?
Who the hell
Why is
knows?
everybody trying for a connected universe? It's
Yeah.
okay for things to be independent of each other.
Exactly. No,
Sometimes
what I
it
find
helps.
funny, the mean nurse from Happy Gilmore, played by Ben Stiller, he shows up at the beginning of Hubie Halloween. Same character and everything.
I've
it's
noticed
hilarious.
that a lot with Adam, like a lot of Adam Sandler films, that he uses the same actors and actresses. Which
He does. Yeah.
if you have a good group that you can work together really well, do it.
I noticed he's kind of been kicking Rob Schneider out a lot lately. He's not in as much. Yeah. Which, to be fair, Schneider's doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, no. So with Dragon Ball Daima, it looks like they're trying Dragon Ball GT again, except it's not just Goku becoming a kid again. It's Vegeta. It's Bulma.
It's everybody.
It's almost
Yeah,
everybody.
I've heard some concerns along those lines of GT resurfacing.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, so we're trying GT again. Cool. I guess. You know.
It looks interesting for sure.
Does.
I think it looks interesting.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I'll give.
It'll be funny to see if we get a child Beerus.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I think if that happens, Beerus is going to be really fucking pissed off.
Oh yeah.
The two that I've been seeing on TikTok when they're talking about this one, they want to see a child Boo.
Of course,
like Big Boo as a child. That would be interesting.
I think we get Kid Boo.
We got Kid Boo, which then got killed and then brought back as Oob, which I wonder if we're going to see him again.
Seriously, what happened to that?
You know how many timelines and storylines Dragon Ball has picked up and dropped off the face of the fucking planet?
Mm-hmm. A lot of the movies.
A lot. Also, it looks like Oolong is back again.
Yeah.
I'm like, didn't he get killed by Majin Buu? Like, obliterated by Majin Buu? But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, it's interesting. I like Oolong. Oolong's fine. I don't hate Oolong.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this, but I want to see where they're going with this.
I am fascinated to see where they're going with it. Let me put it that way.
Now,
maybe they're doing
wonder
time travel. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
From what the trailer showed, it looked like someone wished it that everyone got turned into a child. So
yeah,
a child Frieza.
Oh dear God, no, no!
All the angst.
Oh dear God.
Oh God.
The only thing that'd be worse than a child Frieza is a teenage Frieza.
Oh.
Ugh.
I mean, he kind of acted like a preppy teenage child, and
that's fair.
when he first was,
when
we first brought into it. So,
yeah, that is fair. But no, I mean, I'm honestly getting to the point. It's like, why don't they end Dragon Ball already? You have so much fucking content, so many movies that you could, that you have throughout the whole thing, and it's just one of those things. Is like, look, I get that Dragon Ball fans are obviously going to be foaming at the mouth of this shit. But, like, bro, you got to know when to end. I had the same complaint with Naruto and One Piece.
Yeah, I could see that. Especially, I've been watching the anime of One Piece, and
I wish you luck on that journey, sir.
I think I'm like almost 200 episodes in.
Still wish you luck on that journey, sir. You still got about 800 more to go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but it's all right. It's like sometimes I'll listen to I'll actually watch it. But some of the time, I just put it on for background noise because there's so much filler. And I don't even watch Naruto. I don't care for that one.
I've seen bits and pieces of Naruto. It looks interesting.
I think at one point I actually did a Google search trying to find a way to avoid all the filler of Naruto.
There wasn't one.
Not that I could find. Not that I remember anyway.
And you complained about One Piece having filler early on.
No. See, the difference is One Piece actually does something with their filler.
It's
Fair.
world building.
Yeah.
They build the world with their filler. Naruto filler is
Filler.
meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the myth.
It's like, oh no, Lee lost one of his anklets, and now he's going to hobble on one leg until he finds the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad.
Whereas One Piece's filler is, here's what this particular adversary of this arc is doing now that they've had their moment of, oh crap, I just got the shit beat out of me.
Yeah.
And how it's affecting the rest of the world. Here's what Kobe's been doing since the last time we saw him.
Yeah,
That is fair.
which is why I'm actually enjoying One Piece because it's building this giant world.
Yeah. So, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on either Leo or Dragon Ball Daima?
I've tried getting into Dragon Ball. Let me know when they're not spending 10 minutes screaming at each other.
That's Dragon Ball Z. You want to watch the original Dragon Ball. Original Dragon Ball doesn't have a lot of screaming, but it does have a lot of... It repeats the
Questionable.
music a lot. There is some horniness to it, absolutely, because it came out in the freaking 80s. And then
Dragon Ball does not age well.
it ages fine.
It
It's slightly pervy, but it gets less pervy as the show goes on.
tells on itself
Yeah, it
as
does.
far as its
Yeah,
age goes.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Well,
It's not
also
that it
from the
didn't age
animation
well.
as well.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
when it comes to non-fighting animation, there's some repeated frames. I mean, it shows
Mhm.
its budget, it shows its age.
Well, and again, it's from the 80s.
There you go.
Mhm.
It was we don't have a whole lot of budget, so we're going to reuse things as much as we
Oh,
can.
dude, the music alone. Holy shit, how much they reuse music. Every now and then you'll get a new piece of music, and it's nice, but like 9 times out of 10, same shit.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I hear dun, 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 I'm like, oh, okay, so we're getting into a fight here. I've literally started picking up. I'm like, okay, and then of course, as soon as I hear that, and it's like either we're getting to the end of the episode or we're getting to a fight. And as soon as I hear that and I hear Hoso, I'm like, all right, so we're gonna skip into the next episode. Because I'm like, we're gonna get it to be continued here. And it's just, I've been able to kind of map it out. It's that easy to map out. Whereas Dragon Ball, I have a feeling will not be that easy. Or Dragon Ball Z, I have a feeling will not be that easy. But we'll get that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alrighty then.
Mhm.
So going on to our next topic. The Halloween TV rights have actually gone to Miramax. Unfortunately, did not go to A24. But we can still possibly see the movie rights go to A24. We don't know. But as far as TV rights goes, it is going to entirely go down to Miramax. And of course, they would like to do a cinematic universe, which means that they're going to do a TV show, but they would like to also have it tie into a movie trilogy, possibly. So here's my problem. It seems like
With Halloween. With
Halloween as a whole,
You're a
there are
human.
more-
You have problems.
this is true. But with Halloween, I don't know how you can do a TV show. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like I really don't.
I
Each
don't
episode
see it
might
either.
have somebody different.
Yeah,
That's the only way I can think of it.
like, okay, when it came to like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously I could tell that, like, okay, I'm like, okay, you have enough original, not really Friday the 13th, but anyways, you have enough originality with like Nightmare on Elm Street. You have enough originality with that to make a TV show because there's so much stuff you can do.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially especially like a perfect example. I believe it was 3 or 4 Dream Warriors.
Dream
You could do
Warriors
a
is
whole
3, Dream Master is 4.
like for that alone, you could do a whole season in the dream sequences.
Oh yeah, absolutely you could. And you know, like another good one where you can get creative is Chucky. Chucky is doing really well as a TV series.
I still
So,
haven't watched that yet.
It's hard to find.
Yeah, it is very hard to find without paying an arm and a fucking leg.
That or just trying to watch it on Sci-Fi. But fuck Live TV.
I don't have that at all.
Haha, me either.
Nope.
But no, like when it comes down to all that type of stuff, it's just one of those things. Is like, but really, Michael Myers. Now, here's my thing: if you'd like to make a TV show about Season of the Witch, go for it.
Well,
If you'd like to make an anthology series, go for it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just Michael Myers, I could take it or leave it.
Well, and I think this is all stemming from Chucky.
Kinda. It's also stemming from the fact that Blumhouse no longer has the rights to make movies and or TV shows of Halloween because the rights have now gone back to the Akkad family, and they would like to do it with Miramax. Well, Miramax bought it out.
There's a reason I say that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can tell, Chucky as a TV series was legitimately successful.
It still is.
Mm-hmm.
They're already on season 4.
Yeah, and so studios, the studio in charge saw that and said, "Okay, what else can we do?"
Yeah. I know that Friday the 13th is supposed to be getting a TV series again, and I believe A24 is doing it.
Each season is a different session at the camp.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with, like, obviously with slasher characters. Yes, there's a lot of stuff you can do with TV. You can develop your victims more. Oh, sorry, your characters.
Same thing.
But yeah, you could develop them more. You can definitely have more interesting plot lines whenever it comes to hell. You can expand upon the lore. You know, they're originally the way David Gordon Green, because he was originally going to tie Season of the Witch into the Halloween universe, which kind of doesn't make sense because Halloween in and of itself is a movie in Season of the Witch. I shit you not. It's a movie they're playing on TV for Halloween, which I find hilarious. But no, so like originally David Gordon Green was going to say that Michael Myers' mask was a silver shamrock mask, which I'm like, I don't hate it, but no. It's more scary when it's just a guy that went nuts and has a pale William Shatner mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
like that image in and of itself has become iconic.
Exactly. It's
messing with that image takes away from the character.
Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I a Halloween nut? No.
It would be
I love hate it.
It would be like Freddy Krueger if without the burn scars
or the knife butt.
It's not Freddy Krueger.
Exactly, it's not Freddy Krueger. So you know, or it'd be like Jason without the machete. Which, to be fair, Potato Stack Jason is the best Jason. I'm sorry, he really is. Part 2 Jason is the best Jason.
Yeah. I can agree to that. But like for me, go ahead, Ali. Go ahead.
Sorry, you go ahead. I can go after. I want to hear what you have to say.
For me personally, I don't see the point of Halloween becoming a series. I really don't. Freddy, I could see. Jason, I could see. Leatherface, I could fucking see. Scream, I can see.
It was a series, but they didn't have the rights to the mask, and it was terrible.
I didn't know that. Even Leprechaun. The Leprechaun series with Warwick Davis.
He's getting old. I don't think he's going to do them anymore.
I'm not saying he could come back and become the Leprechaun again for a TV series, but I could see those slasher characters being a TV show.
Yeah.
Michael Myers, I don't see it.
The difference is all those other slashers, their victims vary. Michael Myers has had a lot of victims, but it's all in pursuit of one goal.
More or less.
And when you try to mess with that formula, it's not Michael Myers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Don't disagree with you there. No, so here's the thing. I have heard an idea that for like in the first Halloween film, there is like apparently there's a lot of like outside world lore of like there was one about a guy who chopped up his entire family and then started going after the town, and it's another town over. It's like every town has their legend or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, if you're going to do an anthology series with Halloween, you can do that where it's all these different like characters and whatever their gimmick is, you can make it work. Do something like what Fear Street did.
Yeah.
Where you can do that. You know, I'm not saying go ahead and copy Fear Street. That's more supernatural than really Halloween. Than most Halloween movies go into. We're not going to talk about the Thorn trilogy. Jesus fucking Christ, the Thorn trilogy. Halloween has a very messy timeline, folks. Don't be surprised. Now
I think a lot of slashers have that issue.
Not as much as Halloween.
Yeah.
Freddy has an interesting timeline, but it's not messy. It has its hiccups. Jason has
Scream is pretty
huge ass
straightforward.
messy. Scream's not hard. The Scream has a pretty solid storyline or timeline. Leatherface has a fucked up timeline. Jesus Christ, it's bad. The amount of times they've tried to make a series out of Friday or like a film franchise out of Friday or out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they tried like 3 times and it failed all 3 times. So there's that, and then I'm trying to think what else. You know, there's so many ways you can go with it, but you have to tread very lightly, because at this point, when people hear Halloween and they're like the Halloween movie, they typically think pale white William Shatner mask, dark hair, grease monkeys jumpsuit, and a fucking kitchen knife. Which actually, it's not really a kitchen knife. I think it's a chef's knife. But anyways,
but this gets to what I was going to say before. Each one of these each one of these slashers, these killers, they have something that makes their image who they are. When you mess with that, you take away from the character. You essentially make the character non-existent in the movie, and doing that will kill any interest people have in the movie.
Yeah. So
I agree.
I will still stand on my fucking soapbox for this, and I will never die off this hill, or I will have to die on this hill. I feel like the original idea that John Carpenter wanted to do for Halloween is still ultimately where the franchise should go, which is he didn't want to focus on Michael past the second one. Really, he didn't really want to do the second one. He's there just whenever the producers were like, hey, look, Michael Myers is iconic. Let's do one more movie with him, and then you can do whatever the hell you want. So he said, okay, I'll make Halloween 2. I'll wrap it up. That's why it looks like Loomis is dead. That's why it looks like Michael is fucking cooked. You know, all that stuff. And then you have Halloween 3. And so it was originally supposed to be every year or every 2 years, they were going to come out with a Halloween film that was going to be a different and unique story that did not have to necessarily tie into the original. Of course, this is back when there was no internet, so they couldn't fucking make that a thing. And like they couldn't basically kind of like shout from the rooftop saying, hey, this is going to be what Halloween's going to be going forward. Now you have that element and you can make that work. And I think if there's ever a time to make that original vision come to light, now is that time.
Definitely.
Go for it. That's what
So
I would
basically
recommend.
do a similar, like, not necessarily similar, but almost like copycat killer-ish type thing, but different towns and stories.
Think more along the lines of the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy from Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, where you have Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End. 3 completely different movies. Think something along those lines. So it'd be like, that's why Season of the Witch has a very heavy element of witchcraft, of the You have that creepy ass mask, you have that annoying ass London Bridges falling down cover, and you have all that stuff in there. And it's so drastically different from Halloween. So it just comes down to a factor of, okay, so that's what you can do. And then let's say the next one was going to be an Invasion of the Body Snatchers type movie, and you still could have called it Halloween and had elements of like you could have had like shout outs or Easter eggs to the original. Do something like what Creepshow did. Like the show Creepshow. You could do something akin to that, and you could still call it Halloween and still have it reference other things, but still ultimately make it kind of something unique.
Yeah.
I would argue that's what you could do with the films. Just start doing, like, maybe do a follow-up to Season of the Witch, because that technically ends on a cliffhanger, and then go from there.
Okay. No, I can see it.
Yeah, and if you're going to do it as a TV show, I would say that would work as a TV show. Each season is going to be a different character.
Okay, yeah. If they did, if they kind of almost, I don't really want to say it, but kind of almost how American Horror Story is, where
American Horror Story eventually fell off. But yeah, essentially very akin.
Not
to
true.
American
They're coming
Horror
out with another. They're coming out with a new season.
I said it fell off. I didn't say that it
fell off.
By that I mean in the writing. By that I mean in the writing.
I stopped watching at Circus.
Yeah, Freak Show. I stopped watching at Coven, but I really wanted to get the Freak Show, and I did not like Murder House. I couldn't really stand it, but someone then told me, "Hey, go watch Asylum and then come back to me." And I watched Asylum, and I was like, "Okay, no, I actually like this now."
Asylum was good.
Asylum was great. I still think that's one of my favorite seasons.
Coven, that's
Coven's
where
okay.
I originally. It's okay. It got slow for me.
It got really slow. Yeah. And it also tried to do like 5 different things at once. And I'm like, okay, I thought we were starting here. Why are we here now? And it just comes down to that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Asylum did the same shit, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, all right, going on to our next topic. This one's a shocker to absolutely fucking no one. With the popularity of the One Piece live action, Netflix has decided to announce that they are going to make a Yu Yu Hakusho, or Hakusho? Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho live action show.
That's not surprising.
I'm not surprised either. They failed with Cowboy Bebop, but yet no, they did really good with One Piece,
which is weird.
You. Fuck you.
Okay, the difference again. But I'll say it again. The difference being the original creator having as much of a hand as they had.
I know, but still,
if they can learn from that lesson, they'll do fine.
But the downside was, aside from a couple of characters, they had a really good cast for Cowboy Bebop. Good luck ever capturing that again. Good luck ever doing that again. And it fucking sucks, because that show should have been a lot better. Fucking pissed at that. But anyways, sorry. It's one of the few animes that I like absolutely fell in love with.
I am in complete agreement with you.
I agree. I wasn't a fan of Cowboy Bebop, but I know it's really good. It just wasn't my type of anime.
I can see that. It's kind of like a Western sci-fi. Granted, I really loved Firefly, and I think that's what resonated with me. I absolutely adored Firefly.
Okay.
And that's why I think I kind of fell in love with Cowboy Bebop.
I can see it, yeah. Firefly is one of those really good ones, but yeah.
Well, it's that kind of mishmash of sci-fi and Western.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add detective noir to it as well. And I'm like, perfection.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched a little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho. It's
I've heard
okay.
of it. Never seen it.
I've watched a little bit of it. It's okay. But I also watched it like when it was coming out. Now that I'm older, I'll probably try to watch it again, see if I still think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Alec, your opinion?
I've stated my opinion already tonight. Yu Yu Hakusho has a huge following. Still does. If people can learn from the success of One Piece, they'll be fine. If they can't, they're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because we've proven that you can do a live action anime. It's been proven now. And failing to do that is going to be the death of a studio at this point, I think.
I wouldn't say death of a studio, though. Granted,
I
Netflix
might be exaggerating, but
I will say this though: Netflix is on the verge of death. To be perfectly honest here, they're losing way too much money. But I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like it was kind of like whenever. What was a video game adaptation that everybody's like, no, that's actually really fucking good? And I would say it's Sonic, but not really. Like Sonic 2 was a far better video game adaptation than anything else, but I think Sonic 2 is better. Sorry. Trying to think of that. Well, I guess in the realm of TV, The Last of Us was a perfect example of adapting a video game. And now whenever anybody else is adapting a video game into a live action series, you're going to have to live up to The Last of Us, at least based off of that. So it's kind of like, that's why I think they're taking so long with God of War, is because they have to get it perfectly cast or else they will doom the entire show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means don't hire the fucking Rock. Jesus.
If I remember correctly, Christopher Judge, who's the original voice actor for Kratos, has stated 1,000,000 times that he wants to be Kratos in the live-action series.
However, I would argue you need to make it unique enough, and I think you could have him cameo. That would be awesome. Or have him play a completely different character. That would be awesome. However, when it comes to him playing Kratos, yes, he looks great in the game. However, that's all CGI over him. I guarantee you he's going to look awkward as hell trying to look like a realistic Kratos.
I don't know, because he's done action shows. He's done shows that have required him to have a lot of physical ability.
It's not the physical ability I question. It's not that. I'm talking about the look. The look of Kratos. I'm talking about the Ash look of Kratos.
You're not wrong.
It's going to look awkward as hell on him. That's where my problem lies. So it comes down to, like, I think Dave Bautista would be a good choice. You can make him look tall.
Dave Bautista would be good. I can agree with that. He'd be a good one.
I think Dave Bautista would have a good, like, build for it, good look for it.
That's
The Rock has a good build for it, but I just don't think he's gonna try to make Kratos The Rock.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I
will refuse to watch. I would refuse to watch the show.
The Rock has never played a character. He's played a character playing The Rock.
Yes. Kind of. He used to play a couple characters that. Yeah.
A few of his characters are good. Yes, I agree. But like the way his acting's been, it's like I'm not a fan anymore.
Nah, it's kind of getting old. Yeah.
And from what I've been hearing and reading about the way he's been acting with other people, it's like I'm done. Nope. Like because, like especially like I'm not a big fan of DC, as you both know. Black Adam and Shazam are supposed to be rivals.
Why did they make?
Yeah.
Don't get me started on this. Don't get me started on
this.
Exactly my point. Exactly.
Let's get all back home.
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
You can do it right. You've proven you can do it with One Piece. Don't fuck up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the takeaway here.
Yep.
Take your time. Let the creator have a hand in what you're doing, and you'll be fine.
Yep. Precisely.
Make sure.
Don't do that. You're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, and everybody's gonna laugh at you.
Just like you did with the other. Well, granted, those were the movies of Netflix animated live action movies, but still.
Yep.
You've been proven you can do it. Do what you
Prove
did
it again.
with a different anime.
Yeah, exactly. Now that doesn't mean like do every fucking popular anime that has ever existed.
No,
Absolutely.
I would
not.
argue.
I would love for some of the lesser known ones to.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, lesser known would be really cool.
yeah. Honestly, you want the easiest anime adaptation ever? Pick a slice of life anime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Azumanga Daioh.
free. Which, granted, that's a sport anime, but still. Or or do a live action adaptation of my favorite version of Free, 50% off.
We need to rewatch that series.
It's still funny.
Nagi says the best.
Absolutely.
Devil as a
yeah.
part timer would be interesting live action.
Devil as a
It
part
would.
timer would be interesting. Yeah. There's definitely some interesting animes that could be made live action. However,
We need to see more successful live action adaptations first, I think.
yes, I agree. It's definitely
Set the groundwork.
yeah. Now, granted, if you can prove yourself right again with Yu Yu Hakusho, then yeah, go for a lesser known anime. You know, go for. I would love to see Berserk as a live action anime or live
Berserk
action
would be
adaptation.
interesting.
It would be very interesting. I would love to see all the souls that get crushed by that show. That haven't been crushed already. But yeah, no, it comes down to like set the groundwork, go from there, and then do what you got to do. All right.
Mhm.
But going on to our final topic of the night, A24 has actually said that they are going to change how they approach films. By that, they mean they are going to accept more action scripts, and also they are going to try to acclaim more big IPs. So, I don't blame them. They are starting to get a little gimmicky when it comes to what they accept and what they make. They either make very high art house horror films that are really like a metaphor for grief. And then you have your indie films, obviously. They're a big part of that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have your weird, quirky shit that nobody else is really going to see, but God damn it, A24 wants to book that wants to get that movie some money. And yeah, you know, it just comes down to like, I get that A24 is trying to be the weird step sibling / cousin of Hollywood, and that's fine. You can stay that way. However, good luck staying afloat that way. And I get it, you know, like it's one of those things. Like if you do make some like big budget shit that you know can actually pay the bills and everything, then yeah, go ahead, continue making your weird little side projects. Make that your main focus. However, you need something that pays the bills. You need something that rakes in cash. And if you're going to follow the approach of what you usually do, which is lower budget stuff, then go for it. You know, that's what I would recommend. So, you know, that way we can get more films like Talk to Me, like X, like what's another really good one? The Witch, like freaking there's a lot of A24 films that I would say arguably would work, you know. And yeah, I don't blame them. What do you guys think?
Changes are good
Yes.
as long as they're the right changes.
Yes.
Making changes just because you think changes need to be made is what I'm going to bring this back to D&D. I'm sorry, this is what I do. Not a good idea, because all you end up doing is screwing up.
It's true.
When you want to make a change, you need to analyze what's going on and try to figure out, okay, what isn't working and how can we fix this? And as long as they're doing that, they'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree with Allie. Like, changes can be good, but they can also be bad at the same time. As long as you're making the right changes for the right reasons, go for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that this is honestly a right reason, because yes, A24 films do tend to make their budgets back, but they don't really make like, you know, they don't really pass millions of dollars. You know, they don't tend to make much over aside from make their budget back. And now, of course, they always get critical. They usually get critical acclaim, and they get pretty good audience scores as well. but it just comes down to majority of their money comes down to word of mouth. And again, that's great. You want to keep doing that, but you cannot stay afloat in Hollywood like that. And that's why I'm like, yeah, no, if you want to go for your bigger IP, your more known IPs, like if you want to keep it towards horror, then yeah, absolutely get you a Michael Myers, get you a Freddy Krueger, get you a Jason Voorhees, you know, get you something along those lines. Make it work if you can make it work with low budget. I mean, look at what Blumhouse did. Blumhouse, literally their motto is you get one film, we're going to give you a lower budget. You make money out of that, we give you a bigger budget next time. And then we keep doing it until the money dries out. It's literally Troma's. It's Troma's shit in a nutshell, except Troma always made their shit low budget as fuck every time. So it comes down to, like, that's the Blumhouse method. And I'm not saying A24 needs to follow that. Obviously, they do give pretty decent budgets to these low budget films. But I mean, when it comes down to it, to be perfectly honest with you, yeah, they need some bigger hits. They need some stuff that'll rake in the cash. And I don't blame them for making this change. I really don't.
Yeah. I don't blame them either.
Yeah.
This is the next step of what they're wanting to do.
Exactly. And you know, if you want to make some like dark comedy with Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega about killing a unicorn, then go for it. But you need something that pays the bills for that too. No, you laugh. That is a movie that's coming out. So.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember we talked about it before.
We did. Yeah, we did. And I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to it whenever we get a trailer. But yeah, I mean, aside from what you guys just said, any more thoughts, comments, concerns on A24's changes going forward? No?
I wish him luck.
Yeah.
Me too.
Definitely wish him a lot of luck.
Absolutely. But that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been the Snodacast, episode 29. I've been your host, Black Chef 56. I've been joined by the immortal, the undying, Hungry Hufflepuff.
Take care, folks. Be nice to each other.
No, fuck you.
Piss off.
And of course, we're also joined by the wonderful DJ Lionheart, aka Leon.
As always, stay nerdy.
Of course, it feels naked without you. Well, it feels nerdy with you here, but it definitely feels naked without you, buddy. And once again, I have been Black Chef 56, and get her. Great plan, Ray. And we will see you all later.
Take care.
Take care.